The CIA helped apartheid arrest Nelson Mandela. This shocking detail exposed how allies became enemies and enemies, allies in this complex story. Nelson Mandela, an inspirational figure, was born in South Africa during a time of injustice and oppression. His early life was shaped by his African roots and the traditions of his people. But his world was about to change drastically with the rise of apartheid, a system designed to keep Black Africans separate and unequal. Apartheid policies enforced racial segregation. Black Africans were denied basic human rights. This policy caused forced removals and restricted movements for most of the Black population. The system of apartheid was based on the idea that white people were better than Black people. This was implemented using laws, regulations, and social norms in every part of the society. In response to this system, Nelson Mandela joined the African National Congress, aka ANC, because he wanted to see an end to this unfair treatment. The ANC was a political organization that aimed to achieve reform, civil liberties, and equality. Early on, the ANC was focused on nonviolent protest and civil disobedience. Recognizing that nonviolent resistance may not be enough to stop the apartheid government's suppression, Mandela and other leaders formed Umkhonto we Sizwe, or MK for short. MK became the armed wing of the ANC, and this represented a big turning point in the struggle for liberation. Mandela took a leading role in MK. After conducting attacks and bombings against government properties, he was later arrested and put on trial. The Rivonia trial, where he was accused of sabotage and attempting to overthrow the government. Facing injustice, in a long speech Mandela declared he was prepared to die for the cause of justice, freedom, and equality in his country. He was then given a life sentence. During the 27 long years of imprisonment, the legacy of Nelson Mandela inspired hope and spurred international mobilization in his fight against injustice. His imprisonment showed just how unfair the apartheid regime was. International pressure began to grow on the South African government. Many countries imposed economic sanctions and boycotts. The persistent transnational activism and global communication showed how unjust the apartheid was to the entire world, leading to reform. Negotiations then began between Mandela and then South African President F.W. de Klerk. This diplomacy was to establish a democratic and non-racial South Africa. F.W. de Klerk shared Mandela's vision of change, and the impact of their leadership together earned them the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1990, Nelson Mandela was finally released from prison, and in that speech he talked about the need to build a nation based on equality. He thanked activists, international campaigners, and his comrades for their solidarity and support during these years of imprisonment. This release symbolized a victory of this struggle and a transition toward a democratic South Africa. In 1994, Mandela was voted in as South Africa's first Black president, a truly revolutionary victory. His main purpose as president was to promote inclusivity and reconciliation, building bridges between white and Black South Africans. Mandela emphasized that he wanted to move on from the past and build a nation that is unified. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission was set up to investigate the human rights abuses committed during the apartheid era. This process was aimed to restore unity and give victims and perpetrators a platform to talk about the struggles they had to endure. It was all about seeking restorative justice and enabling healing for the nation of South Africa. Economic and social problems were still a big problem post-apartheid. There were challenges to address poverty, injustice, and inequality, and Mandela's government worked towards building a more just and equal society. But despite all of this, the economic legacy of apartheid still remains. Now, while we have gone through the major point in Nelson Mandela's life, there were some specific aspects, like allegations of injustice that could not be resolved due to insufficient data. Some people still debate and question the fairness of reconciliation processes. Also, the full impact of the socio-economic transformation during his presidency still remains to be studied more. However, Nelson Mandela's legacy remains inspirational. He was seen as a visionary leader, and he was a symbol of hope for millions. If you found this journey through the struggle and triumphs of Nelson Mandela interesting, then do not forget to hit that like button, share this video with those who you think will be inspired by it, and subscribe to our channel to keep watching similar content and learn more about the historical figures and events that shaped our world. Thank you for watching.